Hey love, Andye Murphy, rock and roll shaman. We're going to talk death because that's so real right now. And whether it's your fear of your own death through this or whether it's your fear of others dying, I don't think any of us get to be casual about it. Regardless of what truth may be, regardless of what media might be covering, regardless of what the government might be saying, death is very real. I talked with a girlfriend the other day, so brilliant she is. She was reminding me that there's more death than life in this world. Look at the leaves, look at the ground underneath us, look at the mushrooms, all of these organisms, all of the insects, all of these organisms that thrive on death, not on life. So we're going to do a little bit of a journey into the void today. I want to invite you to allow yourself to move through death. And this doesn't need to be a big ceremony. I'm just going to give you a taste. If you want to do your own ceremony, I think that's a good idea. I will be doing mine. I'm not here to guide you through that part, but as enlightened beings, as the key holders of new consciousness, we've practiced death a long time. This is the mystery traditions. The mystery schools was to practice death. Not only so we weren't scared of it, but also so we knew that we were more than a body. You're so much more than a body. And yet, the grief all around us, the thickness of what's going on is real. God dang, it's real. There was a week where many of us, as the awakening ones, were having experiences of what felt like massive depression. Mine, 90% elation, 10% suicidal. And I was very clear that if that 10% got higher, I'd be in trouble. So learning to surrender instead of resisting the places of death. So we're going to do some work today in the void, if you'd like to. I invite you to move into ceremonial spaces, maybe to light a candle, to allow yourself to experience death. And this will be a fairly quiet journey today, as you might imagine. Death is not loud. And as I say that, I gong a bowl because that's what I like to do. The vibrations feel really good. Grief. You want to talk about grief for a second too? Grief has been teaching my ass some stuff. In that grief, I was wailing. Like sobbing, loud wailing, so much so that my daughter came at one point and she's like, "Mom, everybody on my call can hear you." So she was rather embarrassed by me. And a girlfriend put it in perfect perspective for me. I think this is Ruth Turdy, who's over at the Cosmic Mama podcast. You can listen to that too. It was vibrational to not wail, to not make those noises. I needed that. I needed it to be fully vibrational and sound and water and tears. I needed it to be all elements of my grief to move through that. So I want you to honor grief maybe before you go into this void journey. I think that there are two different parts. I'll be teaching, I don't know that I will be teaching. I will be sharing what I've learned through grief. I won't be teaching grief. That process is for me. You'll have your own. But I'll be sharing a teaching that comes from grief in this rebirth process that'll be happening starting May 2nd. Thank you. It doesn't really matter. If you're here now, I want you to be here for this void journey that we've been asked to go into. So set some candles, set some space. Let's move into nothingness, my love. And if there's a deity who you work with through death, call him or her forward. I started in my grief work with Isis and realized pretty quickly she wasn't the one. Isis is bright and shiny. Isis is of this world. I needed to work with the deities who were not of this world. So think dark goddesses, think shadow energies, Anubis or Nephthys, Persephone, Hecate, Whoever works for you. And we're going to be practicing this idea of breathing between breaths. Practicing this idea of going into the invisible space. Ready? And I want you to see your guardian next to you, whoever that deity is. Let's not let it be a family member. Let's let it be a divine force who understands the nature of death. Someone who has something to teach you and someone who has mastery of it. There. That's sweet. And I want you to see yourself standing next to a black hole. If you're visual, great. If you're feeling, great. However your intuition works for you. But almost feel like the edge of it there underneath your toes. And peering into this dark hole, you can't see anything. The African shamans would do a ceremony where they went into a black hole. So maybe do that one. But I want you to feel it in your feet. If you can feel it so much that it actually activates within your body, bringing up fear, sweaty palms, or heart palpitations, even better. Your guardian pushes you into the hole. Feel yourself falling. Into the darkness. And you'll fall for exactly how long you need to fall until you are caught by this velvety, sweet something. Allow it to be textural. Don't try to understand it. For these are the spaces of the void. The void in the Egyptian teachings is the place of the unmanifest, that which has not been created. So Nephthys, who is teacher and keeper of the void, reminds us this is a place of great fertility, of the earth and of the dirt that has not yet become anything, so therefore the void is also full of potential. I want you to feel yourself in this darkness. I want you to breathe into the hollow. I want you to feel the ants on your body, the maggots decomposing you. And rather than squirming away from it, you surrender into it. Realizing the futility of resisting, the inevitability of death. And what you'll find in here will be new peace, They're cautioning me not to populate what you will feel. But you might feel a sweet relief. When you can experience yourself without form. Another of the Egyptian teachings, one of the primary elements, is formlessness. Rather than it being empty, it's actually freeing. It feels like the all. This is an experience of divine death. Surrendering who you thought you were. And staying completely where you are, I want you to just touch in a tiny bit with your body. Notice what's happening at a cellular and physical level for you. Then come back into the empty. Come back into the cushioned spaces of the void. And while you're in here, I would like for you to ask for a teaching or a blessing if you haven't already received it. If there's any tension in your body, ask for your guardian to show you how to surrender even more to it. Ooh, interesting. There's shamans now coming in to pull you out. I saw their tools and their feathers coming to gather you. So begin to come back now, my love. Come back into the world made manifest. To this illusion we call reality. It's funny, I can feel my own resistance to opening my eyes. It feels so good in here. There we go. Give yourself a moment to breathe that emptiness into the fullness of this body. To expand that serenity of you to all of your limbs, all of your fingers and toes. Serenity. I hope that's what you felt in there. I would love to hear in the comments what it was that you felt in there. But they were really clear. They wanted you to have an experience that was without fear. An experience where you could just move back into the formlessness. Not into the darkness, not into the bleak, not into the panic. Back into the all, as it always has been. I wish you nothing but love and courage to grow where you need to grow. I keep saying I'm so fucking tired of being brave. I know that I'm strong. I don't want to be brave anymore. So I'll keep surrendering. Keep surrendering to needing to be anything or thinking I am anything. And if you do your own death ritual, I'd love to hear about it. You can find me on Instagram, send me a direct message. Emails, I don't get to those quite as much. But you know what I really love? Voice memos. Oh my God, send me a voice memo. I can listen to that shit all day faster than I can read it. So if you reach out to me, chances are I'll respond that way too. So be in peace. Find comfort in the peace. There's so much in there. Love you, honey.